Garp is easily one of my favorite One Piece characters. The so-called hero of the Navy, he displays outstanding traits such as courage, power and willpower. But he is not a morally flawless old man. He has his weaknesses, such as being irresponsible at times, selfish and clueless, as well as breaking the rules of world government on more than one occasion. Garp does not blindly follow the Navy system. He is governed by his own moral code, and this has led him to have a life full of adventures, exploits and sorrows that few will be able to match. Garp's ideology probably originated during his childhood. The little we know about him is thanks to this image of the author. Interestingly, Garp looks very much like a young Luffy, feisty, adventurous and with an appreciation for the pirate life. But at some point something must have happened to him that changed his goals, and that's how a boy who basically wanted to be a pirate became the most free and admirable Marine in the history of One Piece. His ideology as a Marine consists of a combination of freedom and justice. Hence, he has such an easy time befriending morally good pirates, those with a lifestyle of freedom but unwilling to harm innocents, such as Roger. Although we don't know the specific reason why he joined the Navy, from his actions we can understand what kind of Marine he is and what his goals are. Garp wants to improve the justice system. He has not shown an obsession with piracy, so I suspect that he does not fight piracy itself, like Akainu, but is in a fight against the extremes that rule the world of One Piece. Interestingly, something his son Dragon also seems to be fighting, but with other methods. Garp saw the extreme in the criminality of the pirates and the extreme in the control of the government, and I think his decision to join the Navy lies in the fact that from there, he could fight that criminality and at the same time, he could try to correct the absolutist methods of the government and the Navy. The fact that he has been an instructor of young sailors for several years seems to confirm that he is trying to get the new sailors to follow a more balanced path of order and justice. That is, he recognizes that the sufferings of the world are not only the fault of out-of-control pirates, but also of certain factions of the government. As Garp rose through the ranks of the Navy, he must have become aware of a particular problem. The higher your position, the more pressure you came under from the world's nobles and the more obedient you had to be. This conflicted with several aspects of Garp. First, with his love of freedom that he shares with characters like Luffy, and second, with his intentions to improve the Navy's methods with a new moral system. This led Garp to stop at the rank of Vice Admiral. He saw the danger of moving forward, he saw the evil that was at the top with the Gurusei and knew he could not obey them and achieve his goals at the same time. Also, he did not want to be under the direct orders of the world nobles. He has shown his contempt for them on more than one occasion and probably knows that the dominance of the celestial dragons is a cancer in that society. To Garp's credit, while you can see that he wants Luffy's freedom to live as he pleases, he didn't go the pirate way, he went the way of justice and order. For the sake of improving the Navy, he is sacrificing the freedom and adventures he could have had as a pirate. Garp is as wild and free as Roger, and that is why he is so good at taking on pirates, because in a way he is one of them. The difference is that he maintains a moral code that most pirates do not share. It's an interesting balance between chaos and order, love and duty. That way of thinking even led him to gain the respect of the best pirate of that generation. The friendship between these two titans is already legendary. But Garp's lifestyle has not been easy even with all the talent and potential of this character. His son became a revolutionary and his grandson a pirate. Although their ultimate goals are not so different, the fact that they chose those paths technically makes them Garp's enemies. The main difference between Garp and Dragon is the way they chose to improve the world. Dragon wants to create a new system, Garp wants to improve the current one. I don't think it's a coincidence that Luffy, Dragon and Garp are each on a different front of the battlefield. This entire family will help the world in their respective ways. Dragon breaking the current system of oppression, Luffy connecting the world and the different races with the help of Poseidon, the Sea Kings, Noah and Joy Boy's will, and finally, Garp being at the head of the generation of vigilantes who will continue to fight for the good of humanity after the fall of the Gurusei. I'm not sure if Garp will survive the final battle, but even if he doesn't, he has already laid the groundwork for his wards to continue his dream. One of Garp's signature issues has been his stance on Ace and Luffy. The Vice Admiral has been strongly criticized for not saving Ace from execution, and for the way he raised him, but I think those opinions are not being fair to Garp. As for Ace's adoption, Garp accepted the baby despite all the risk it put him at. Accepting this assignment was a gigantic display of kindness and courage. It is criticized that he did not really live with Luffy and Ace, only visited them from time to time, but that is not Garp's fault, since Ace was Roger's son that forced Garp to keep everything in absolute secrecy. He couldn't let his Navy buddies suspect that there was a new addition to his family. It was known that Roger and Garp had joined forces in the past, so it would be easy to make assumptions as to who this child was. Besides, Garp had huge responsibilities because of his position. He couldn't throw it all away because Roger decided to have a child knowing he was about to die and wouldn't be able to protect him. Garp keeping his distance was the best method to protect him. If the government discovered the whole thing and sent several high-level characters to capture Ace, not even Garp would be able to stop them. He did his best, and although it was not a perfect job, he showed flawless intentions in a situation that was very delicate. He did not discriminate against Ace because of the father he had. He tried to lead him to a life dedicated to justice, but even with all that effort to keep Ace hidden and turn him into a Marine so that the government would not hunt him down, Ace made his own decisions that culminated in his execution. Here again Garp is blamed for not revealing himself to the Navy and saving him, but Ace's decisions that led to his death are in no way Garp's fault, and Ace himself understood that. He did not expect Garp to save him. Garp showed genuine love for his 2 grandchildren, but even love has limits in the right circumstances. The problem with Garp saving Ace wasn't just about becoming a criminal. Garp had much more at stake, being the hero and a Navy legend. If he allied himself with pirates, it would have been a huge blow to the reputation of the Navy. The people of the world would have lost confidence in that institution. He would put at risk much more than just his position as Vice Admiral. This reputation that Garp created over the years is very valuable, not only because it gives him personal prestige, but because hundreds or thousands of sailors have been inspired by Garp and are following his example. The safety of thousands of people depends on seafarers upholding their dreams for justice, and Garp is a moral example to those seafarers. Allying with pirates would be critically damaging to the balance of the world. And even being aware of all that, at the moment of truth, the Vice Admiral let Luffy go through and free Ace. I don't think there is anything to reproach Garp for, neither when he stood firm in supporting Sengoku's decision, nor when he hesitated for a moment and let Luffy go. It was an impossible situation for Garp. There were simply no easy answers. He was in a lose-lose situation and chose the option that would cause the least damage to the world. Recently, new information was revealed to us about Garp and Roger's past, and I would like to give my opinion on the subject. We are told that the 2 of them joined forces to defeat the Rocks pirates, an impressive accomplishment considering who those pirates were. The intriguing thing is that they did it to save the world's nobles from Zebek's attack. We already know that Roger and Garp also despise those leaders, so why would they save the celestial dragons? There are indications that Zebek had an ideology of extreme anarchy, similar to what Blackbeard is presently seeking, and I think both Roger and Garp believed that Zebek's methods would be a worse alternative to the disproportionate control already exerted by the world nobles. Roger surely also wanted to remove the world nobles from power, but not by leaving the world in chaos, and under a law of only the strongest survive, but by creating a better system. And as I already explained, I think Garp is also looking for that. Garp and other sailors are trying to keep a balance, but at the end of the day they know about government corruption and will be happy if Dragon or Luffy defeats them. Garp, Cousin, Smoker, Kobe. These sailors are needed so that once the government falls, anarchy will not reign, but people with the necessary experience in how to use justice and order will create a new system. Much is criticized that Garp left Luffy with bandits when his intention was to turn him into a Marine, but he knows better than anyone that in the world of One Piece, being a criminal is not the same as being evil, just as being a Marine does not make you completely good. Just look at how Roger was a pirate and his friend, while there are sailors who are practically criminals. Seeing the image of how Garp was as a child, we are shown dirty, beaten and with a pirate chest. Probably Garp himself lived surrounded by criminals and at some point dreamed of being a pirate, but something must have happened that led him to choose the path of justice. The same could have happened with Luffy, that could have been Garp's hope and the reason for his method. In fact, seeing how he trained Luffy in brutal ways, it is possible that he believed that in order for Luffy to decide to become a Marine, he first had to know the hard side of life, the dark and criminal side, and that this would inspire him to correct those evil deeds. Again, this could be the way Garp decided to be a Marine, so, with that parenting method he used with Luffy, he was trying to get his grandson to walk the same path as him and come to the same conclusions. With the recent awesome chapters, I wonder if, just as Whitebeard knew about the Joy Boy will issue from Roger, will Garp also know about this story? There is more than one way he could have learned about this prophecy, from Roger, from the Navy, or from the government. Maybe he knows the story but doesn't yet realize that Luffy will be the new Joy Boy, or maybe he does suspect that it is Luffy, but since being the heir to this will doesn't make you invincible, this could be the reason why Garp became so obsessed with turning Luffy into a Marine and thus preventing him from having the entire government against him. I mean, Garp was not only protecting Luffy from a life as a pirate or from being the son of a criminal of Dragon's caliber, he was protecting him from being tied to that prophecy and being the government's #1 enemy. Something that, in fact, is already happening. We saw that him has photos of those who, possibly, are his most dangerous enemies, and among them is Luffy. It's not yet clear how much Garp knows about it, but with the connections he has, I wouldn't be surprised if he knows about it. On my list, Garp is among the top 5 characters in this series. He is an intersection where many other important characters connect. Despite choosing the side of order, Garp influenced the personality development and actions of many of the freest men in the world of One Piece: Roger, Luffy, Ace, Sabo, Dragon, and Cousin. His presence has an enormous reach. He is connected to the Navy, the government, hundreds of pirates, revolutionaries, kings and citizens. Admirably, he decided to become a master who passes on his knowledge to the next generations. His family's bad reputation and the decisions they made could cause him to hate them, but he doesn't let it affect him. He still shows himself happy when he sees Luffy and remains a champion of justice. Despite all the hardships he has had to endure, he still smiles, still works, still helps. Garp is a tireless protector. In a world where everyone wants to be a pirate or a sailor, Garp became a hero.